Hello, good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm so happy to be back doing some more content for you tonight. Obviously, we're going to be looking at the second leg on Monday night, the massive night that ended up being incredible. And yeah, we're going to get stuck into that in a moment. But yeah, as ever, if you do want to kind of get involved in the chat, please feel free to post any questions, post any of your thoughts, and then if you would like to join and kind of air your views on camera, please feel free, because like I say, you're all welcome on here right now. So yeah, but yeah, first of all, I kind of want to touch on something first, but we're going to get our guest on for now because yeah, I just want to get him on. It's absolutely fantastic to welcome onto the channel a good friend of mine, actually, and yeah, it's been great to see his progress on YouTube and his incredible kind of rise that keeps happening. But yeah, welcome on to the stream. Welcome, Brad. Hi, how are you?
Good. Well, can't be bad after the week we've had as town fans.
Of course.
Can't really get better.
It's been dreamland, hasn't it? Now, obviously, before we get into this guy, I want to touch upon something that's really touched my heart over the last few days. Obviously, the massive story in the footballing world, if you could say so. Obviously, Jake Daniels starting to come out as gay, which, yeah, I kind of want to reiterate this, and I've said it many times, kind of on my social media pages. This actually means a lot to me because I've kind of longed for this moment for so long. Obviously, me kind of growing up in obviously, you know, supporting football, obviously Huddersfield, I kind of longed for that role model, you know, growing up. Obviously I didn't get that role model because obviously we was a bit more behind the times at that point. We still are behind the times, let's be honest with you, because this is still a massive story and it shouldn't be a massive story in this day and age. It really shouldn't, but this is where we're at. And obviously he obviously became kind of the first openly gay professional in England since 1990. It's a massive moment, this, it really is. I can't tell you how much this means to me as well. Obviously, the stuff that I do with my campaigning for equality and things like that, I know that it'll make a massive impact to a lot of people from my community. It really will. And yeah, it just kind of, you know, seeing that interview kind of on Sky Sports, it did actually make me quite emotional after that, because, you know, the way he was opening up to the, you know, obviously the camera, and I mean, yeah, it's just a massive moment in football, and I hope that this is the start of, you know, of a real kind of, it'll definitely change lives for sure, and it'll definitely inspire others to follow the lead. It'll certainly help a lot of youngsters growing up, you know, obviously finding themselves, kind of thing, you know, because it can be a very lonely place. I've said this before. It was a very lonely place for me, you know, growing up. You know, feeling alone in that moment, because obviously I didn't have anybody that I could kind of relate to or kind of look up to in that aspect. So yeah, I just want to pass my respect and my kind of thanks to Jake for this, because yeah, it just means a lot to me. It really does. And yeah, and that's all I want to say. But yeah, I'm gonna do a like a bigger kind of episode on this, because there's so much to cover, and I don't want to kind of obviously we're here to discuss the football, but yeah, I had to mention that first of all. Because,
Ryan,
yeah,
I hate to interrupt, but I think another massive part about this story, right? I don't know if you're aware of this, right? And I think this just shows how great the situation is with what Jake's obviously done. There is a player at Blackpool who, let's say, when he was 17, tweeted along the lines of something that would not be welcomed to Jake or to yourself or to anyone in that kind of area. And it's brilliant to see, obviously, that since Jake's come out and been open with that people have done that stupid thing that they do where they look at old tweets, and they brought tweets back from 2012. So obviously a massive different part of that Blackpool player's life. And he's obviously tweeted that, and he's come out and said about how wrong he was. And even him and Jake have publicly like expressed tweets to each other where that respect's there, and where he's realised his mistake and how he can do better and how he's learned. And obviously I think that education's massive, you know, learning what is what is acceptable and what isn't, especially someone who has to admit when they've done wrong. I think that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, well said. And like I say, it's actually, obviously I actually did see this actually, and obviously I know that obviously, but yeah, I actually kind of have that massive respect for that guy for coming out and saying, look, I shouldn't have said what I said. I apologise for this, and you have to move forward. And like I say, a massive part of this is about the education side of it, and yeah. It's the positivity that Jake's kind of received and things like that is great. But I think the proof kind of in the pudding will kind of be is obviously he's not playing at the moment. Obviously he'll be back next season. How will fans react to that? Because if he's one of the if he's going to an away to if he's going away from home somewhere. I can't believe he's only 17, by the way. It's a massive step at that age, by the way. Now, if he's going away, will he receive that kind of abuse that I'll kind of hear stuff that us as fans, I kind of, maybe you may not be as kind of, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I'm very, very, I don't look out for kind of homophobia on the terraces, but I maybe recognise it more than maybe you do because I'm kind of, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying to
yeah, no, definitely. So like,
how it develops.
So like in the similar way where like a person of a minority in skin color would probably see that not obviously it's not the same, but it's the same kind of process of how they would see someone treating them differently a lot clearly than we would, obviously not being of that kind of
yeah.
No, I totally get that.
But yeah. Anyway, kind of that's all I want to say on that. But yeah, obviously, fantastic step forward, and yeah, I'm just it just makes me kind of happy, kind of thing, because I think it's a massive moment. But anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get stuck into this historic night on Monday evening, which ended up being incredible. Let's get some comments up the town. Hello, Alfie. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. Cowshed will be amazing. Hubcat will be, like I say, I'm presuming you're obviously talking about obviously where the Cowshed will be for the Wembley trip.
What block have you got?
Me. 111.
Oh.
I know. I thought I'd lost my chance because I was literally scrambling on my phone and my iPad and my laptop this morning. I was like, blooming heck. I thought I was going to end up in God's. I thought,
we'll have to be. I'll tell you what, Ryan. We'll all have to be loud in voice that day.
Yeah, we need to be. And you know what, Brad? I'm gonna kind of say this before we get stuck into kind of what happened. The atmosphere on Monday night was a special atmosphere. It was the loudest I've ever heard it for ages.
I'll tell you what I will say. Yeah, there were points where Luton played that well that they kind of drained the kind of noise out of us.
Yeah.
And their fans took over for like a good bit of it, but from the start and the end, and obviously with the kind of build up to the goal where the disallowed went in, it was just so loud. It were almost like ear deafening at one point. Like it just.
Yeah, it was special, and like I said, we needed to bring that kind of atmosphere. You obviously you can't, but yeah. You've got some love here from Tyler. Yeah. Younger than me, obviously younger than you, obviously Jake kind of refers. So it's a very brave step at that age for sure. But when you kind of said I'm going on again about this, but I'm not actually mean, but I'm just saying that obviously he kind of knew from an early age that obviously he was gay. So he's kind of been living that life for quite a lot of his kind of, for most of his teenage years, because obviously he's coming up to 18 soon. So yeah, it kind of, but you know what? I think this will really drive his football career forward, because, you're playing without that weight off your shoulder, because kind of when you come out, it feels like that weight's lifted. And I think that will help his football on the pitch. But we'll have to see. But yeah, I know that he's kind of a talented kind of player and obviously got huge potential. So yeah, we'll have to see. Huddersfield to win the final 1-0. Kenny says, welcome on in, Kenny, by the way. Thank you for joining us. That is a very good shout, and I'd love that scoreline, actually. But yeah, we'll have to see. Forest fans up. Yeah, like I said, we'll get into that in a minute because I've said many stuff about it. Remember this, you will be on the European tour within 3 years. Ooh, well, I'm not saying anything, but yeah, that's very bold move. That's a very bold step. I'd love to be going to somewhere like, I'd love to be going on a plane and following town abroad. I think it'd be so cool. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself, and you are making me get ahead of myself. So I'm gonna shut up. We all need to be allowed. No, yeah, we do. We can't afford to be. No matter how the game's going at Wembley, we have to stick with the boys. And it doesn't matter who's on top. If Forest, obviously, will get on top at some point. As much as I'd want Huddersfield to win, I think Forest will. Yeah, well, a lot of people have said that, and to be honest with you, a lot of people have wrote us off this season anyway, so we're used to that kind of talk. But I mean, we've beaten Forest already this season, so you know what? We can beat anybody on a day, and that's what I think. How many will be in count? I don't know how. I'm presuming that they've all tried to get together. I'm not sure how many will be. Like I say, it's kind of that block 1-1-1, block 1-1-1, and 1-1-2, I believe, is the cowshed section. So, yeah, that's what's happening. It's hard to spell, not a prediction. Right, okay. So yeah, we're gonna get stuck into this because we're literally kind of into this stream a bit, and we've kind of not got anywhere with this. So yeah, obviously you knew my thoughts going into this, Brad. Obviously, I wanted an early goal, and I kind of felt to myself, if we could get that early goal, it really, kind of ease them nerves. Obviously, the game didn't pan out like that, as we know, and Luton actually had the better of the first half, as you can probably agree. Now, obviously, again, Nichols continues to save and save and save, and he did make a bit. He kept us in this game in this first half, as he's done plenty of times this season. Talk me through that first half, because do you know what? I think we're very flat and very, very laboured in that first half, if I'm all honest. And I think that full credit to Luton, though. I'm going to give Luton some credit because I think they were organised. I think they came with a game plan. But from our perspective, we have to be better than that, especially at home. What was your kind of thoughts on that first half? Because it was very kind of demotivating a bit, wasn't it? Because we just wasn't playing well. We just wasn't firing. We couldn't get anything going.
I think the main thing for me that I noticed was a lot of the second ball was being kind of recycled just by them. So like they were putting the ball upfield, we were winning it, and then two people were battling for it, and then the Luton player were coming out with the ball a lot of the time. And there were a point where Russell missed the ball and I can't remember it was for one goal, put one of their players for one goal, and they missed it. And Nichols saved it. That's what the bottom line is. And there's no surprise there at all. Like, he's his best player for a reason, to be honest. But I'd say he is our best player. But I just think that we just didn't have a lot of creativity going forward. We had a bit of a shaky start at the back. We were kind of forcing the ball a lot of the time. I found us just playing it upfield just for the laugh, really, just trying to justify moves that weren't really working. But I just found Luton quite, I don't know what the word, maybe intimidating at times with kind of what they were doing when they were closing down players. They were man marking almost perfectly in areas that they needed to. Pippo wasn't able to do his runs that he normally does, where he goes through the middle. Toffolo the same. They weren't able to do that as easy as they'd like to, especially in the second half. And I thought for the first, let's say, 48 minutes, going into first couple of minutes in the second half, 48, 50 minutes, they were probably the better side in terms of managing the game and how they kind of operated for me for that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Ward having to come off injured looked a bit of a worry, but he didn't look too badly afterwards. Obviously, we're still celebrating. I mean, it may have been precautionary measures, but yeah, like I say, it's not a bad replacement to have Rhodes coming on off the bench, though. But I'm not just saying it but I'm just saying he's a quality player and he's always got the experience. But anyway, I'm just gonna go into some more comments here whilst we second half. Right, okay. I'm like I said, I remember because obviously we're at the opposite end this time to Wembley, which we're talking about. This time, but I'm in a similar position that I was last time, but obviously the opposite end. So I think it is a good view. To be fair, you'll be fine in that 1-1-1 section. Don't you worry. We'll have a good view. All of us will. Cooper has a poor record in the playoffs. To be completely honest, Forest are really good though, but so I just feel the third best Championship squad. Thank you so much for this comment. I appreciate your respect of Huddersfield Town because not many people, have ever given us that respect. So yeah, that's a lovely comment to read. Thank you for that. And like I say, Cooper, I'm not really sure about his record, but to be honest with you, it just comes down to one game. So I don't really look at kind of the records that either manager has had, whatever. I just believe that it's just about what happens on the day. But yeah, I love that ending to that comment. Thank you. Yeah, Forest could definitely win. Both teams could win. Shane Luton couldn't finish. Yeah, so proud of the boys though. What a season. Yeah, congratulations to Luton, by the way. I want to keep reiterating this. But yeah, what an incredible story this is. I mean, their journey kind of they've been on is really, and the fact that they came so close, you've got to put respect. You've got to respect this team. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just an incredible achievement. And had kind of we not been in the playoffs, maybe we could have potentially gone automatically at one point. I would have liked Luton to go up by the playoffs, but obviously we was in the playoffs, so I wanted us to go up. What a coincidence. I know, we're twins. We're wearing the same shirt. You must have known, Brad. But yeah, it was great. This is a beautiful shirt, by the way. I actually like this. This is one of the favourite town shirts over the years, to be fair. But yeah, I'm not just saying it, but yeah, we are twins. Wonder how good could have been if you still had KDH. Well, who is KDH?
Dewsbury Hall.
Oh, right. Yes. Right. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, he's certainly gone on to he's really brought his game to a next level, hasn't he? Really. So yeah, like I say, great player. Yeah. Like I say, I'm not surprised that he's obviously got that accolade. Will be hard on Sunday. Young player, yes. Could see. Please don't mention the dreaded penalty shootout words. I just don't want this drama. We can get it in normal time. We need a hero in the final. Yes, we do. Are we doing a march to Wembley? I have no idea. What pub will the cow should be at? I don't know. I'm sorry. Like I say, keep your eyes posted on their social page. They'll probably notify you about that. If we win, surely we'll do something outside Wembley. Yeah, potentially. I'm not really sure though. Apparently, it's hard to see. No, it is not. Like I say, I've been in that lower tier of Wembley. You can see whether you're at the back or whether you're at the middle or whatever. You can see because I remember being at the back last time. Well, backish. Still had a good view, so you'll be fine, don't worry. The thing is, if you're right up at the top, that's when you can't really see much. The cheapest ticket, obviously, you can get. But yeah, you'll be fine, Alfie. Don't worry. Just enjoy the occasion.
It's quite strange. I mean, I was just thinking then when I kind of daydreamed for it, I was just thinking really, back when I went to watch England-Hungary in November, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just like, I went there and I thought, I don't really see myself coming back, like, with Towner or and I mean, that were round about the same time where Pricey said we'd finish fourth, and I sat there and I laughed at him. So
yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean,
crazy how we've
literally
crazy how we've progressed into a position where we're back at Wembley.
I mean, because sorry, go on.
And no, a lot of teams have dropped out. That's the point I make. Stoke were up there for a while, Coventry were up there, Blackburn were up there, QPR were up there, Borough were up there, and they've all of them lost it, and then. Us, well, we've been up there all season, but Luton have come in right at the end and stole it from everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that obviously. You wasn't at Wembley, was you, when we got promoted last time? Which is it's going to be fantastic for you to be there. Obviously a week on Sunday, so yeah, at least you haven't booked your holidays too early this time, so you're able to. Forest think, like I said, I'm really not interested in what fans think because they're just so delusional and embarrassing. And that's all I've got to say. We will be back. Yes, of course, you will be back next season, and I wish you all the best for the upcoming season. Obviously, I know you'll still be very disappointed with but you'll still be very proud of the lads. You know, so yeah, best of luck for the upcoming season for sure. I'm sure you'll be back up there. Here we are, my favourite bros and favourite YouTube. How are you, bro? Oh, hello, Aidan. Welcome. Well, I'm very well. In fact, I'm more than well. I'm absolutely buzzing still from Monday night. Of course I am. So yeah, I hope you're well, and thank you for coming in. Thank you. I know Brad's buzzing still, so we don't. Huddersfield will beat us next season. Oh, you're a Man United fan, aren't you? Yeah. 3-1. Ooh, well, yeah. Like I say, it'll be. Like I said, we have to get there first, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Remember this. Remember this. I will remember it. Yeah. If that prediction comes in next season, if we do get to the Premier League, I will remember. Brad, what section are you sitting in? Alfie's.
1-2.
Nice. Wagner versus Sanchez. Ryan's not answered. So, Brad, what do you think? I'm not sure what you mean.
Wagner versus Sanchez.
Is he also correct? I don't know if he's maybe. I don't like to compare. If you only like comparing, obviously Wagner and obviously Cobra and Carlos, I am not doing it because they are both great. Well, what's the difference with 1-1-2 and 1-1-1? I'm not sure.
They're in one.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
just all cowshed loyal. That's just it.
Yeah, it's similar views. It might come down to Nichols versus Sam, but yes, it will. And I fancy Nichols. I'm not being bad, but I think Nichols will get the best. Did you see Sheffield United Forest fan? Not sure what
there was a video. Allegedly, well, it says allegedly. It's pretty clear that McBurney stamped on a Forest fan.
Really?
So we thought it was just sharp, which were, bad enough on its own.
Yeah.
But the video looks like there's a Forest fan on the deck and he's just sat there stamping on him. And he's going to have boots on, naturally, because, he'll have been on the bench. So,
yeah.
It's
just crazy, isn't it? I mean,
and people have got the nerve to say that we were the bad ones out of all four, like just because of what happened with that old man, which is a minority.
Yes, but Brad, I want to touch upon this in a moment. Actually, I'm going to obviously condone these behaviours that we've seen, but let's get into talk about the second half first, and then we'll go back to this because I do want to make a point about this. I don't know who you're talking about, Kenny. I don't know who Sanchez. I don't know who Sanchez is. I don't know what you mean. Sorry. Please elaborate. I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll get back to this game. So the second half, I mean, we like I said, we started off slowly again, but we got better as the half went on. Next, I want to talk about this penalty claim that we had. Now, I'm sorry. This was a Stonewall penalty yet again, I'm afraid. And I cannot believe the referee missed this. And again, we always seem to be battling with the referee nowadays when we play. And I'm not being biased here, by the way. We always seem to be playing against 12 men. Now, obviously, it came from a great kind of bit of creative play by us. And like I say, I think Russell kind of tried to score, but obviously it rebounded. Ingram kind of flapped at it, really, didn't he? And obviously Toffolo come running in. And he took him out. He did. He took him out. I'm sorry, he did. And obviously, the referee didn't give anything. But I'm sorry. I'm not sure how he missed that. What are your views on this, Brad? Because it had to be a penalty.
Well, I think a positive to take, really, with the whole kind of situation from it is that, at least they weren't bad tackles. Because if the bad tackles, then at some point, Toffolo is going to be in danger because it's happening to him. Every game now where he's just getting brought down, and they're fouled by the code and by the law that's said in the rule book. Toffolo is goal side for that first one and gets pushed, and for this one, Ingram spilled it, so he's no longer got control or possession of the ball, and he's just maybe the first bit where he's gone under him, like you could kind of maybe. It's still a foul, but you could kind of understand Ingram's misfortune there. But the rest of it, he literally claws at his shin and just wipes him out. It's literally the most nailed-on penalty that you'll see. Like it's up there with the most obvious of penalties. But you see, the thing is, people will think that we're paranoid and that we're delusional, but this is unfortunately the reality that we have to face as Town fans. It's like playing against 12 minutes sometimes. You know, I've watched it back on telly today, right? I was sat down, I had some spare time. That was a penalty, clearly, and the goal, there's nothing wrong with that. Colwell, is goal side of Bradley, and Bradley throws himself at the ground with no contact whatsoever from Colwell, minimal at best, and Lees goes and sticks it back at net. So that's two possible goals that we've been denied there that were fine. Now, it's all fun in games. We don't care now because we've won. But had we not have done, no what would have been done about it. There'd have been no like complaints, no like official like ref statement or all. That you just because it's Huddersfield Town. But if it were Liverpool or it were Man United, you would not hear the end of it.
Yeah.
And everyone would be going, oh yeah, Kevin Friend, or John Moss, or this and that. But because it's us, no, you won't hear the sight of it. So I am saying this now. Bring VAR, and for the final, I'm glad we've got it because they can't pull the wool over anyone's eyes that way. Yeah. Or at least maybe they can try and fix 10% of the decisions instead of all of them, because it's happening both legs. You've got the tough penalty in the first game, you've got the penalty in the second game, and the goal. That's three possible goals. One's a definite goal, and the other two obviously you have to score the penalty, but they're game-changing events. So
yeah, exactly. And like I said, I'm just glad, you know, obviously it hasn't cost us, but in the end, like you say, if it would have cost us, it wouldn't have been top.
We'd have been fuming.
Yeah, we would have been fuming, but it would have just been brushed under the carpet, as we know. So yeah, like I say, agree with you what kind of said, but obviously, let's talk about the goal, because I'm sorry, this is incredible. This is an incredible moment, and like I say, Sorba Thomas, I mean, he comes on and he just makes a massive impact. This guy, this season, he just gets better and better. He really does. And you know, obviously, from a free kick, it was a brilliant delivery here. You know, you couldn't have asked for a better ball. And obviously, Rhodes had a lot to do. Here, guys. And you know, a moment of brilliance by him. You know, the technique, just incredible, and the strike as well. It was just fantastic, and it couldn't have happened to a better person, you know, Rhodes, because he's a class act on and off the pitch. And I'm not just saying it because he's from, you know, he's kind of a Huddersfield player. I just think he's such a fantastic professional, and he's a great guy. And yeah, what a moment though! The absolute scenes when that goal went in. What was your take on the goal? And kind of, yeah.
I mean, we normally take the mick. We don't take the mick, but we normally kind of have a laugh saying like that the family stand, you won't ever really see any celebrations in there, and that you might get the odd cheer and that. But I tell you something, it didn't matter where in the ground you were. It didn't matter. Yeah, if you're going to split hairs, yeah, there were a lot of bouncing and jumping up and down and flying everywhere in Cowshed. But seriously, like, there were fans on the pitch when Rhodes scored. That were it. You could just tell how much it meant to us. And it was just, It's like I said yesterday, it wasn't in the corner. It were in the side netting. And on that angle, it were even better because it were further away from Ingram. It were perfect. It's not bounced. It's not bobbled. He's just got there and just cushioned it, just tapped it. In fact, no, it's like he were playing curling. He just brushed it into the corner. Barely even touched it hardly. Just pointed his foot in the right way and met the ball on the perfect. No spin on it. No too. You know, it's not too quick. Literally, it's a perfect ball. It's a perfect finish. And it's over the course of the game, I could see why Luton fans had been good because he played really well. But over the course of the game, with what went on, especially from the officials, we deserve that. Nothing less, maybe even more. But it had to be him.
It had to be, didn't it?
As soon as it come on, the writing was on the wall. It's like, I don't know. I had money on Toffolo scoring first to score in the game. And as soon as he missed that chance, I knew he wasn't scoring because that was the best chance he'd have got ever. But you just had a feeling that the goal scorer wasn't going to be... When I say usual goal scorer, obviously Rhodes has taken time to come into the lineup and start more. But, I think that's Jordan's first goal off the bench. So that's massive because he usually only scored when he started. And as soon as he come on, you had a feeling like, Rhodes can't do the sprinting that Ward can do, but he has a different place. And Amari Bell is a really top player for Luton and has been in that wing back position. But if you're seriously not going to take the time to look around and see arguably the Championship's greatest ever striker behind you and give him that much space, he catches it late, Bell. So by the time he can even try and maybe foul Rhodes or whatever, it's too late. You're not leaving a player like Jordan Rhodes with that experience and obviously being a target man. That's his bread and butter. The ball in his feet in the dangerous area, that is Jordan Rhodes' territory. So
yeah, absolutely. And I mean,
he brought it on himself, Bell.
I mean, obviously, when Rhodes came in, obviously, there were a lot of talk about him, obviously, a lot of suggestions that, obviously, he's not kind of going to do anything with us and he's too slow, he's not got anything to, And I think that it was really unfair, that, actually. But what I will like to say is he's had not the last laugh, because I don't think any Town fan wants to see players fail. Of course they don't. But I mean, it was very harsh, what people were saying when he came in, really. And he's kind of proved people wrong. Not that he needs to, because his goal-scoring record is for all to see, I accept that he's slower than he was. But he has different qualities now, and he still hasn't, you don't lose your touch. I mean, what was your kind of initial kind of going back, obviously? What was your initial thoughts when you heard that Rhodes was coming back to the club? Because, I mean, I personally, usually I don't think that, when players come back, after having a break away from the club, I don't know if it actually works a lot of the time. Sometimes it does, don't get me wrong, but quite a lot of the time it doesn't. So I was a bit apprehensive myself. I wasn't doubting Rhodes' ability. I was just thinking to myself in terms of that kind of opinion that I kind of had about, players that come back, do they ever reach the heights they did in the first spell or whatever? But yeah, what was your thoughts on that initial when you heard that Rhodes had come back?
Well, I think it's bigger than just a Jordan Rhodes thing. To be fair, I think it's a collective with all the players that have come back. I think it's part of the same process. I mean, Lursel came back, did a solid job, kept us up. I thought Ward last season wasn't great at all, but this season he's surprised massively. Those two are, especially Rhodes, more so Rhodes, but Ward's still like a classic Town kind of legend, like with the Championship and obviously back in them days in the 2012-13, around that kind of time, that era. Like Ward's still to this day, like, and especially, even Dwayne Holmes, he's not on the same level, but I do think we do slate him sometimes, but I think he's playing the best football of his career right now at Town. Like out of where he's been and when he's played, I do think his football's getting better. Like we're seeing an improvement. Like, off the ball sometimes he doesn't do the running, but I thought he gave the ball away, but the effort was there for me over the past two legs. And that's a big part of it, because what we slate him on is the effort. We don't slate him really on the quality all the time. A lot of it, it's just him being lackadaisical and not running. But he lost the ball a couple of times. But first leg, he was a deserved man of the match for me. I could agree with that. He was Ryan. He was on it. He was what is it? The ball was coming into him, and he was thinking positive and going forward. And the second leg, he lost the ball a couple of times. He wasn't the best player, but at the same time, he was kind of he was working, and that's all I can ask sometimes. If you're not playing good, at least work.
I mean,
but obviously, go on.
Yeah, I understand. Like I said, I appreciate what you're saying, but for me, first of all, obviously you mentioned, the quality. I've never doubted his quality, by the way, because I think he has got it. I just think he lets himself down a lot of the time, and I think that obviously, you know, um, I don't know if I've got my blinkers on here, but I don't see the impact in that man of the match. I don't think he should have got the man of the match for the first leg, in my opinion. I maybe I've got got a different kind of. Maybe I'm just because I'm set in stone that I don't like. Well, it's not that I don't like him. I just don't like the way he portrays himself a lot of the time. But I don't see how he was man of the match in the first leg because he didn't really do much for me. Second, yeah, but like I say, views kind of differ. But I don't think he's playing the best football. I think he's not doing enough in a match for me still. You see him once or twice. That doesn't mean that he's had a fantastic game.
But by no means whatsoever. But I think obviously, if you're looking at the level we're playing at now, we're playing in a playoff championship semi-final. That's the highest he's ever played at, right? And in comparison to where we were previously, at Derby, he was playing in the semi-final at Ellen Road a couple of years back, and he wasn't really the start of the show. And I'm not saying he is here, but he's starting for us. He's kind of.
Yeah, the thing is though, like the second leg, he wasn't doing anything, but yet he was still staying on the pitch. Like Carlos absolutely loves Dwayne Holmes because he does have his favourites. I think Carlos. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you because when he took Sanani off, I was thinking to myself, why has he taken Sanani off? One of the most players that has made such a big impact this season, and he's leaving someone like Dwayne Holmes who was just dipping in and out of the game when he felt like it. I didn't understand that substitution. I'm not going to criticise Carlos. I'm not. But
yeah,
straight.
And there's plenty of times where we've seen a sub that doesn't make sense, and obviously I've been the same. But to be honest, I think out of the past few games, especially where we've said this about where Holmes hasn't tracked his man, I do think these two games have been a big improvement on his work rate, and that's kind of the point I'm making in terms of that. He's slowly getting there,
That's fine, but the problem is you have to be consistent with that. And second of all, that's what we expect anyway from following Town. You expect to see the effort. That's just a given. It shouldn't be a question of because you've kind of put in effort for a few games, you're all fine. You've got to be. A lot of the times this season, he's been so poor. He's not done anything.
Yeah, no.
That's my point. I'm trying to, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I do understand.
But
that.
Moving to the point, obviously I said it with past players. Rhodes, you asked the question.
Yeah.
What did Rhodes? Lightning's never going to strike perfectly the same place twice, but Jordan Rhodes is of the same cloth of Billy Sharp, of the kind of player in the Championship. Like your Chris Wood. Obviously, Rhodes and Sharp done it longer, but they're of the same kind of same player. And I don't like to admit that because obviously Wood's an ex-Leeds man, but they're strong. Give them the ball in the box. You put your money on these players to score over the likes of your pacier players, like whoever, like the likes of, I don't know, someone who's quick but hasn't got the finishing capability. These slower players, these are the ones you put your money on to score in the box. These are the ones that score the intricate finishes because they're experienced. They're not, and obviously, like I said, the intricate finishes, that'll be one in every season. But they're going to be the one to do it. That when you need a goal, when Sheffield United need a goal, they're going to call for Billy Sharp. When we need a goal, it's getting to that time now. I mean, think about the last few games, right? Who put us in the lead against Barnsley? Rhodes, massive goal. That put us in the playoffs, that goal.
Yeah.
Well, no, obviously, the Toffolo one did in the end. But that put us, obviously, in that position to get the second. Cap the game off at Borough. Done and dusted. I thought we were in the playoffs after Borough. We agreed on that kind of with obviously what the commentator said with the post, signed and sealed kind of thing. But if there ever a man, however old he is, to get that goal, it was always going to be Rhodes.
Yeah, of course.
As soon as he come on, I thought, yeah, the game will slow down in that attacking third, but we're putting these good balls in, but no one's meeting them. So maybe it's a good idea. And you know what I mean? You know, we know what Jordan's capable of in his prime, and obviously I think he's past that. But you'll never lose that finishing capability. He'll never lose that instinct of being in the right place at the right time. You know, a lot of strikers would never go to the back post. A lot of strikers would go nicely in the middle. But that's obviously been worked on in the training ground. There'll have been plenty of times where Carlos will have set defenders up, and he will have set Rhodes up at that back post and told Sorba to drill balls in all day until he gets it spot on. And that's what they've done. Perfect ball, perfect finish. They're not saving that.
No, absolutely not. It was brilliant. But yeah, like I said, Rhodes has been fantastic over the last few games, and like I said, the end of the season has been great for him. So yeah. Also, Kenny's asking about, you know, when he said about he's on about, you know, Corbyn and obviously David Welling. I mean, you know, you can't really say who is better yet, because I'm afraid I think that they're both incredible coaches, and I just think you just can't, because you know what Carlos has achieved this year is incredible, but what obviously Wagner achieved was incredible as well. I mean, surely, Brad, you can't choose between the two, because they both, from my opinion, no matter whether we go up or not, Carlos is a legend, and all these players are legends because of what they've done. Maybe that's me being a bit, but they are, because you know they've really given us, you know, a season that we never expected, but also being up there, you know, being so close as well. Obviously, they have to get over the line now. But yeah, what do you think about that? Because it's hard.
I'll tell you what I'll say, right? Yes, one was joined midway through, one was a full season, right? But these managers have both taken Town to Wembley in their second season with the club. Like I say, Wagner joined in January. We're splitting hairs, obviously. He did join midway through. But obviously, you would give Carlos the benefit of the doubt because there were no fans in stadiums to motivate or anything like that. So for that reason, I can kind of count those two as the same thing. So with both of their second seasons, we've gone to Wembley. One finished in 5th, in arguably a harder league, I'd say, at the time.
Right. Yeah.
But we finished 3rd. Yeah, the league might not have been hard, but there's still some quality teams in this league. We've won the games this season that we couldn't win even with Wagner. Like your Preston away, you know, we drew that. We got a point at Deepdale for the first time in how long?
Yeah, a long time. Yeah.
Won at Fulham. Lost 9-1 on aggregate last time. Won at Fulham. Obviously, it makes the point with beating Forest.
Yeah.
Don't think we've done that for a long time.
Oh.
Beating Bristol away, beating Cardiff full stop. That's like the big one for us. I mean, even the last season we nearly went down, we won at Swansea. Now, we weren't there to see it, but it's so close. The style of football are worlds apart. That's the only thing. Wagner's press. Carlos is pass.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
Or maybe not pass, but pass forward and keep going it forward. And Carlos' style of football is just about recycling the ball. Win it back, straight away look for a forward option. And he's, you know, I saw on Monday night, Hogg was passing forward. About 70% of the time, unless it wasn't doable. And if we were finding Holmes, we were finding O'Brien in that middle forward. Yeah. So I tell you what, if we go up, and only if we stay up, and then even more ifs, we stay up again, is when I will say that Carlos is better.
Yeah.
Because that becomes the point where he's had the same, maybe not the same time, he's had longer, obviously, but at the same time, I'd argue in some areas that kind of we had it easier back in the day. That 15-16 season, yeah, we nearly went down. I'd like to Dean White and that, but obviously the financial troubles of the club last year and all the deadwood, that were a massive issue in its own right. So I'm kind of saying they level each other out, and I'd give them both the benefit of doubt. Yeah, they've not had the same time, but they've had they both had issues the season before coming into a playoff race.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
if we go up, if we stayed up, and then if we stayed up again, is when I would say Carlos is a better coach.
Yeah, I couldn't put that any better, to be fair. So yeah, I agree with you, to be fair. Right, question here. If Huddersfield go up, who do you think Huddersfield will sign, and which players do you want to sign new contracts? I mean, it is certainly something that's on our kind of radar at the moment, because obviously we haven't got over the line yet, but you're kind of thinking to yourself, what kind of way will we go? If we go up, what kind of where will we look for players? What will be our recruitment policy in this? And then obviously who will sign contract and who will leave? It's a big kind of talking point now. We're kind of onto the final kind of game, obviously. So yeah, what would first of all, obviously, let's kind of break this question down. I mean, mind you, I suppose it depends if we do go. The thing is, shall we just say if we go up, right? How would you work this recruitment side of things? Where would you kind of look? What would you kind of be your agenda would be? Would it be someone that's kind of played in the Premier League, that's had experience, or would it be somebody that's maybe has the potential to play there? It's difficult because you do need experience, but you need that kind of potential. I mean, we need players that want to play for the football club. That's the bottom line of it. So yeah, but anyway, I'll pass over to you.
What I would be looking at is proven veteran players that have played in the Premier League in the past. The likes of the older players that still have their fitness. And even if they don't, big deal, because they can just be rotated in and out, along with the other players. The likes of, for example, players like Mohamed El Nene of Arsenal, someone on that backside of 29, still has the fitness, played in a decent team, and could be rotated in contention with the rest of the team, with Hogg, with O'Brien. I think getting the players that have played there in the past is a big part. The likes of signing. I think going to Spain would be a good idea. We've had Pipa and Vallejo, two very good players in their own right, played by injury, but still come back and done well, what can only be said is positive things for the club. And you've got the likes of obviously the players in kind of situations where they're good enough to play in the Prem and they're already a Prem team, but they're just not getting the game time that they deserve because there's someone else doing better. And it's one of them where it's no one's fault, but they're going to have game time because, they need game time. So I'll just get a sheet up at the point for the sake of it. But whilst I'm on about that, I'll answer the other question. Who should we be tying down to contract? First man, it's not even in contention. It's not even a debate. It's not even discussed. We know automatically, telepathically, it's Nichols. Yeah. We're tying him down to a 4-year deal straight away. Give him whatever he wants. If he wants 20k, give him 20k. That's a low Prem wage. I'd give him that. Give him a signing bonus as well. Give him a clean sheet bonus. Give him a 10-bed house in what is it in nicest part of Midgley or wherever he wants to give him whatever he wants. That's the first one I'd do. I think just to look here for argument's sake, Watford and Norwich would be a first port of call for me. It's a team sport. Watford and Norwich haven't been relegated because of one player. They've been relegated as a team.
Yeah.
So obviously for that reason, the likes of maybe Craig Cathcart, been there ages, solid defender in his own right. He's played there a while. I'm not saying he's the best by any chance. He'd be quite slow. His fitness wouldn't be the best. But even just having that experience in the dressing room and having someone with experience in the Prem wouldn't want a high wage player like that. The one thing I want us to smash if we go up is the rotation element. Is to get that 18-player squad where we're going to look at the lineup, right, and say O'Brien's ill. Let's say O'Brien's ill. I want to be able to look at that lineup and go, oh, O'Brien's not playing. Oh, all right then. I don't want it to be like it's, oh no, that's it, we're done. Because that's the case every week. And I know it makes us fickle because it never is as bad as it seems. But that's what we do every time. We look at the lineup and go, oh my God, he's not starting. And that's it. So if you get what I mean, we need to look at these teams that are getting relegated. Brandon Williams, rotate him at left back. Players like that. There's loads of them. I'd take that Billy Gilmore on loan in a heartbeat. I think he's a really good player. The likes of, sign Sinani for 500k. I don't think that's a bad buy at all. For rotation purposes, can play multiple positions. I'd be getting Colwell for another 2 years or 1 year, definitely straight away. Toffolo contract. I don't know what the rest of them are saying. I'd give Pippa a new deal. I think he's played well enough to get another deal, and I think in the Prem that style of football would suit him. I'd be giving Russell a new deal as well because obviously I don't know what his situation is.
Yeah, I'm not sure about contracts really, but yeah, definitely.
There's a lot we could go on for a while actually about this, but yeah, what do you think about that? Obviously,
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I do agree. Obviously, in terms of the element of looking at maybe these relegated sides that are coming down, it is certainly something that we should be looking. Like I said, I do like Brandon Williams. I've liked him this season. I do like. I think someone like Pookie as well. For Norwich. Obviously, he's. I know that a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's had but he hasn't had the quality around him to be able to produce what he can." We've seen what he's capable. But I think that potentially, if we do go up, I mean, no disrespect, to Danny Ward and Rhodes, but I think we do need to get another striker in.
But that's what I mean. It's the beauty of it. Campbell will be probably going at the end of the season. He's not really featured as much as he'd want to. I hope he takes a coaching role. I really hope he does. I think he's a great role model, a great man for the dressing room. Like Rob Green was in the Prem season. He didn't even play a game, but he had that. People only said positive things about having players like that in the dressing room, having that experience and that knowledge of just like that. But you see, it's like the likes of Willie Caballero. He's 40, but I'd take him as a backup keeper in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Someone like that he's getting on, but keepers don't. The keeper, it doesn't matter what age you are as a keeper. Keepers are keepers, but just that experience of a proven player in an environment where they've played in title-winning teams, got on a bit. I would never have this man at the club, but a player of the calibre of Fabian Delph, that kind of player who's played at the top level. Obviously, he's lost a bit of his edge, but he's still got that knowledge of what it's like to be in both the underdog and the top team. And he can, in that style of football, he would be the player that would work quite well, but never him because he's a Leeds man. But yeah, that's kind of just that kind of player who's obviously had that experience at a team like that. I think that's the route to go down in Spain as well, especially for wingers. Quick, intricate Spanish wingers.
So what you're saying is you want a bit of experience, but you also want maybe some players that potentially have not played the Premier League, but they can do that step. You know, I mean, you never know until you're there, do you? I suppose in terms of making that step up. But if you're looking in England, though, I've liked the look of Gibbs White. I think he's a fantastic footballer, very young talent, and I think obviously he'll be well sought after. But I think he's worth a go because I think he's really. I just like watching him. I've liked watching. When I've seen him in glimpses this season for Sheffield, I think that he's been great, and I think that he has that potential that you need, and that that young kind of talent you need that'll just be fearless.
Well, I mean, me and a friend were saying the other day, a player like, if we're going to get anyone from the Prem under the age of maybe 26, it's going to have to be a loan because we're not made of money. That's kind of how it is. If they're under the age of like 25, have years left on their contract, we're not going to be able to afford a good player in the Prem. Like, maybe, go on.
Yeah, I mean, you say that though, but don't you think it's worth maybe getting, a player that's maybe worth, I don't know, a 20 million player, right?
If it's an important player,
yeah.
So if it was for someone like, again, I'm kind of on the wrong page here, but if it was for a player like Nathan Ake or something, then that's perfectly justifiable. But if it was a top player, not a top player, but like a mid-table player, not getting played, but they're good and they've played good and they're proven at being good, like that kind of thing. And that's perfectly justifiable. But I tell you who we should be looking at for a loan: Cole Palmer, straight away.
No,
he's playing under Pep Guardiola. The best coach in the world. That's the opinion I have. He's the best coach in the world. He's already playing under Pep, who's tried his style at Spanish football. Pep, has only said positive things about Bielsa. Carlos worked with Bielsa. It's.
Oh yeah.
It's all part of the same kind of. It's similar. It'll be a similar style when you look at how they obviously the quality you have. That's depending on what style you can play. But that kid is something special, and he's 6'2". He can play on the wing or up top. Perfect.
Yeah.
Literally.
Definitely. It looks very good. I've seen him on a few occasions after this season. Yeah, he looks very solid. But it'd be But anyway, we kind of speak if we do go back. Definitely contract-wise, though, I agree with you in terms of Sinani. Sinani has to come back for me. I think he's produced really good this season. I think there's a lot more to come from him still. I'm not going to lie, but he's produced and he's done more than enough to earn that contract, from our perspective. Because obviously, I think in the loan, I think there was an option. I think there was a clause in it where we can buy him anyway. We've got an option to buy. I think I remember seeing. I mean, obviously, I echo the thoughts about Fraser Campbell. What a guy. I mean, I'd love to see him. I agree. I'd love to see him stay in and around the place because he's a great character to have around the place. He's a great. He cares about the football club, and he's just a great guy to have around. I think that it'd definitely be a wise move for that. Like I said, I'm not really sure about any other contract situation. If I'm honest with you, I mean, obviously Pippa. I'd definitely tie him down to one. Obviously, Nichols is a given, isn't it? Tough. I think, to be honest with you, we see if we get to the Premier League, I think we might tie down our players to longer contracts anyway. I mean, Lewis O'Brien, I mean, he potentially might. I don't know. I can't keep up with contracts, but I don't. How long has Lewis got left on his contract? Or has he just signed one, or what's
he just signed one to 2025, I believe.
Right, okay. So we may be best extending that for a few more years.
Well, the only issue with that, right, is we would extend it probably another year because the issue we have is when I believe, from what I've heard on Twitter, when we got him to sign the last deal, his agent put in a clause for £12 million, which in today's market's robbery.
Yeah.
So if we don't go up, he's gone, and we don't get a say in it. So
it's good.
If we do go up, we can. Then I think there'll be an option to take the clause out because Premier League football is what he wants.
Yeah.
So going up's the dream for more than just the obvious. We get players that have been at the club for years to try their hand at Premier League football. Players that have come through the ranks. You know, there's players coming back from that have been out on loan all season that, yeah, I wouldn't maybe play them in the Prem, but they can work their way up. Edmund's Green out on loan at a Championship club for another year. Give it a year. If he smashes it Championship, he smashed it at 2 levels. Then if we're still in Prem next season, I'm not saying I'd start him every week, but you can see where you're at. You know, there's players. There is potential there with a lot of players. Players that would be that we got good options. Players like Matt Ritchie. Players like that, experienced players that I'm looking now. I've gone on to Newcastle because Newcastle's always a great place to look at players like that. Them kind of players. Backup keeper, maybe Cal Darlow. Good back in the day, you know. He was good. Kieran Clark. You know, I could definitely think of worse players.
I mean, you know, obviously Blackman. Is he on loan or is he ours? I can't remember.
He's ours, yeah.
So are you saying that you want him to? Are you saying that he's not good enough to be a backup keeper then in the Premier League, for example? I mean, are you saying he should be leaving then at the end of the season?
What I'm saying is we need 3 keepers.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Whatever level we're at, we need 3 keepers.
Yeah.
The only thing is, Schofield gets hounded at this level. So if we put him in the Prem, I fear for his confidence because Hamer was bad enough at one point, but Schofield will get torn to shreds by some of the world's best talents.
He needs to go out.
He's a great individual, really professional, but ultimately he lost his confidence.
Yeah. He needs to go out on loan. Like I say, he hasn't played much football at all this season, so. But yeah, like I say, all good names there and all kind of, you know, ifs and buts of where we'll be next season. Of course,
yeah.
It's great to have that chat for sure about that. Forest didn't even play well yesterday. Yeah, they got very lucky actually, to be honest with you. And yeah, they should prove themselves. Look, I think Sheffield United, I can imagine they're very gutted right now because they had chances to win that game. They know they did. But yeah, it's one of those fine margins, isn't it? It's like I say, penalty shootouts as well. Just a lottery. Good luck in the final. Liam's one of he's a Bristol fan actually. He came onto my channel for the game. You know, when we obviously played Bristol, the fan home game. So thank you for that. Good luck wish. Thank you. Should we go for someone like Spence?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know why it didn't come to my head because I said this to all my mates the other day. I said this to them. I said that one of the first guys from the Championship we go for is him.
Yeah.
In that 5-back, he'd be in that 5-back. That's literally you know what I mean. That's crazy. That
absolutely.
We got him. You know, and you know that's not without looking at the rest of the Championship. There's been some quality players this season. You know, in their own right. Players like Cameron Archer. Maybe a loan deal there. Josh Bowler from Blackpool. Been some really, really top talents. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, even the likes of Kiefer Moore. I don't think he's really going to play that much at Bournemouth.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's one of those. It's just seeing. Well, but yeah, all great names for sure. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. How many will? I
reckon they'll have about 2,000 each, maybe.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, thank you. I don't really know. Sob will. Yeah, like I say, Sob, it'll be a massive jump. There's no question about we know this, but he's more than capable. We've seen his star quality. I've said
non-league to Premier League in.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, I know he hasn't got there, but the fact that he's stepping out at Wembley, you know, on Sunday, obviously next Sunday, what a moment that is for him. You know, the biggest match of his life for sure, and all the players' lives that matter. But I'm just on about Sorby here for now, because obviously he was in, you know, non-league football so soon. You know, literally yesterday. Shall we just say yesterday? Because it feels like you know, he's still kind of learning. He's still only, you know, he still wasn't long. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was very, very soon. You know, his first proper season. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. If we go, do you think Luis Sorba will leave? No, I do not think they will leave. They will not leave. That is what every player's dream is to play in the Premier League, and I believe that these players will stay with us because They love the club for it, firstly, and they know that they're going to play every week. But also, I think they feel loved at the club as well. So I think that'll be 3 factors for me.
If we do go up, like on a serious note, I hope they do the home kit in just as good as they did the first Premier League home kit, because I loved that kit.
Yeah,
the way the stripes were circles and the redness on the badge. People were saying it wasn't thing. It was unique. It was so. It was just. I loved that kit. I thought they got it spot on. It's probably my favourite home kit for a long time. That.
Yeah, they always seem to kind of more often than not get the shirts right. So yeah, like I said, it'll be great to see what next season's shirt is for sure. But yeah, we'll have to see. Biggest game is this. Yeah, hope we sing Sweet Caroline. Yeah, this is Don't underestimate this comment, by the way, because this is kind of a moment where, I mean, I keep thinking to myself though, kind of if we don't go up, how damaging would that be? Because obviously we'll lose a lot of players. This is my worry here. Like, I'll just kind of put this out there. I think we'll lose quite a number of our players, and I'm not saying we can't. I mean, I don't think the likes of Lewis O'Brien, maybe Sorba Thomas are replaceable. They're not replaceable for me. You can get similar talent, but they're not replaceable. You can't replace a player like Lewis O'Brien, in my opinion, because he's a one-off. So I'm worried that we'll lose players if we don't go up. What are your thoughts on that?
There are players in similar styles to Lewis.
Yeah.
Replacing them and finding a good fit is very difficult. I'd say O'Brien for me is the better player, but I think Sorba's harder to replace for the simple reason that there's that many wingers that don't do what he does, and that dead ball is a trait that no one has nowadays. If I said to you, who's someone who you think's got a good dead ball, you would go to Ward-Prowse or De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Apart from that, you're not really. You're not really. I'm not saying it's on the same level as them yet or all, but you're not really kind of thinking of many names. It's not something that you can attach to a lot of people. But being such a great set piece taker, it's almost unheard of. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of worry that we may lose a core of our squad, unfortunately, if we do. And I think that kind of, Nichols potentially may leave because, I mean, he'll be wanted by a Premier League club, I think. And I'm not being over it dramatic. I think he will, because what he's done this season, like I said, I'll go back, he's just incredible. He's a star keeper, and he's been in the fringes of, League One and things like that. And he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't. We've seen this. He shouldn't have been in League One, and he shouldn't have been sat on the bench in League One for that matter. But I think he's more than capable of getting to the Premier League. Now, I'm not being negative. I don't want to put it down on this, but I kind of think about this a bit because, it's always down to one game, and I think that it's just difficult to you're kind of hoping that we'll go up, and I think that, we deserve it more than most to go up. But in a final, anything can happen. We know this, and yeah, that's kind of my. But yeah, I would love to see. I mean, I don't know if this is a bit of a bold statement, but if we did go up, which I'm going back to the positivity side. I'm not being negative. I'm just being realistic. We will kind of look at maybe losing players if we don't go. Someone like obviously Southampton are not going places, are they? Let's be honest. They're kind of just there. But I'd love to see Ward-Prowse come to Huddersfield. I really would, because I think that he uses. He's absolutely outside. I know you're laughing, Brad, but I think he would love to come to somewhere like here, because I think he'll know that he'll be he'll be respected, but he'll be a new surround. He may need a fresh change, and I don't know what his wages are like. I mean, this may be another factor, but would it be worth maybe trying to get? I mean, you're laughing at me, Brad, but what are you thinking? Tell me, what are you thinking about this one that I've just made?
Do you know how much? Right, I just say, that's only realistic if Kenny's bang on. The only thing that we would ever kind of be able to persuade with is Europe. But obviously, we're going off topic of we've not even got there first.
Yeah.
And then we've not even stayed up. So it's just one of them where I can't see how we'd ever get him unless it was that, because money's never going to be something we're going to have. Not like that. I believe right now he's on 80k a week
Is it right? Okay.
Or
Yeah.
like 60 or 70. They had to time down to a deal because I think West Ham wanted him. I can't remember who it was. And then City said they were ready to offer 60 million this summer. So
Right. Well, mate, I just look stupid now. But yeah, I was just dreaming, okay? I was just thinking about. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Maybe that was just ridiculous to say. Yeah, it is a great chant to sing that, actually.
especially at Wembley. It's like I was saying, right? I said, to top it off, yeah, the dream would be, well, there's many dreams, but a big thing for me that I think could be a dream would be, Johnson having a sitter, missing it, Nichols saving it, sending us down the other end, hog heading it down, and then Rhodes scoring, or maybe just to wind Forest up home scoring. I think that'd just be the kind of
Yeah, that'd be absolutely incredible. Nichols will help us in the Premier League. Yes, like I say, he's more than Kitty. Like I say, he's a Premier
And
League.
then the DJ at Wembley, whoever's on the playlist, can start playing "Just Can't Get Enough" by Depeche Mode, or "Firework" by Katy Perry if they're feeling a bit in the mood. Let's say.
Oh, yeah, like I say, Nichols, he'll definitely be at home in the Premier League. There's no doubt about that. Hope if we go, we'll be good at set piece. Yeah, like I said, we need to keep that strength. If we go up, we need to keep that set piece strength that we've had this season. Maybe something else to kind of consider is we won't get as many set pieces maybe in the Premier League than we did this season. We may have limited. Yeah, I'm obviously set pieces, obviously corners and things like that, but I'm on about free kicks because you never really get the rubber or green in the Premier League with decisions. It's even worse. But yeah, like I say, it would be definitely important to keep all of that strength. Just went on the Forest camp on. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. If we go up, I'll cry. Well, I was in tears when we went up the first time, so yeah, I will definitely cry if we go. And I think I might cry if we don't because it'll be damaging.
See, the problem is, right? I said this yesterday. I know some Forest fans, like I know them. I'm like all right with them, but I could have, if you had a gun to my head, right, and you said Huddersfield Town are going to go to Wembley and lose. Who would you rather lose against, Sheffield United or Forest? Now, I think I could take losing to Sheffield United. Not really got out against them. There's always been a bit of friendly banter there between the two clubs. Yorkshire Derby, another Yorkshire team in the Premier League. Not really got out against them. I'd wish them well. But if we lose to Forest, I don't think that's something I can quite stomach. Just off what's been said. That's just like...
Yeah, let's touch upon this because at the end of the day, right, I think that we've all kind of found out how kind of, not all Forest fans, by the way, some.
No, yeah, so
let's not put everybody in the same category here, right? I think that some are really embarrassing themselves, and so they really are, and it really is delusional. Now, whether they say in the comments that they are to get a reaction, because a lot of kind of thing on social media, a lot of people just say stuff to get a reaction, by the way, not because they think it. So yeah, it's what are your thoughts? Because for me, by them saying, "Oh, we're up already," it's just really disrespectful. Now, whether they think like that, I don't know. Whether they just want a reaction, more likely the second thing, because that's what social media seems to kind of instigate sometimes. You just say something and you're just wanting someone to react to you. That's what some of these people on social media do. I mean, what do you? I mean, Forest, they think they're bigger than they are, unfortunately, and they're still in the Championship, and they keep mentioning about this European, kind of journey that they've been on before. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is, and I cannot stand these fans, and I think a lot of clubs don't like these fans because, I mean, like I say, some. Let's keep saying some because I kind of But it's very easy to, stereotype every single Forest fan. Not every single Forest fan is like what kind of they behave. But I'm kind of going on a bit here. But what I'm saying to it is first of all, they're being disrespectful. Second of all, they shouldn't be so confident because we finished higher than them. And thirdly, it's one of those that, if you disrespect a club, you'll kind of regret what you say. I mean, Where do you sit with this, Brad? I mean, I don't know what. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Because they're already giving it everything, saying they're going up already before they even got to the final. In fact, they were saying it before they even before they got past Sheffield United. And let's be honest, they were lucky last night to get through. They're very, very disrespectful, and I don't respect these fans that are carrying on.
I just think it's like you say, they're just making a fool of themselves, really. It's just what gets me for some of them is when they go about this European Cup. It's like you weren't even alive. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you weren't alive when it. What is it? Thing. When you won it, so it's just you know what I mean. It's just like it's like again but it's just like this kind of thing where when they sometimes kind of say you'll sit there and they'll say something along the lines of it's like, it goes back to when we had them all Liverpool in the next round. They beat us 2-1 when we put the kids out.
Yeah.
And they were all like raving on and going, "Oh yeah, I told you so." Like, what do you mean you told us so? We didn't play our best team. Because when we did play our best team, we beat them.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was more of a bigger chunk. Some were fine, but a bigger chunk of them said, "Oh, well, we battered you." I was like, "All right, you don't get 3 points for battering someone. You get 3 points for scoring more goals than the other team." Like,
yeah, you do. Yeah.
At the end of the day, Johnson missed an open net and Spence put one in Rowe's head. That's not our fault or our problem. Like if you want to miss open nets all game and just make us look good defensively, that's your problem. Yeah, part of me wants us to go and win this 2 or 3-0. But no, it's like my cousin said. He said the way that they go on about it, he hopes that we put 11 men behind the ball for 89 minutes, run down the other end in the last minute, have no shots on target all game, and score the only shot we have on target in the last minute. And that'd be one of the most satisfying ways to win that game. Yeah, it'd be nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But could you imagine how bitter everyone would be if we went and defended, give or take, for 90, 70 minutes maybe, and then ran down the other end, had maybe 1 or 2 shots on target and scored?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, like I said, but I think that they'll always be bitter no matter. If we win, they'll still be bitter about it. But yeah, like I say, don't want to go too much about that because, like I say, from my perspective, we focus on ourselves here, not them, not Forest, not the players Forest have got. Yes, we've got to be wary of these players because they've got some great players. But if we focus on ourselves, we know what we can do. Yes, I worry a lot if we don't go lose it. Yeah, like I say, Alfie, you kind of on the same wavelength as me. I do fear it. I really do fear it if we don't go up. And I think that'll be very difficult, going into next season, depending on how the recruitment side things go. But yeah, like I say, let's see what happens. Obviously we've got a massive, massive, massive game at Wembley, and we may not even have to worry at all because we may be going up. If we go up, do you see us selling out home every week? Well, yes, I do.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we will. Because, like I say, a lot of fans will jump on the bandwagon, which we always see. Do you feel we'll sell out Wembley in our end? I think we've got a good chance because actually, I think we've only got 36,000 for. We've got a 36,000 allocation. We don't actually have the. I mean, where's the other 18,000 going? Because obviously Forest will have 36 and we'll have I think we'll sell out our end, to be honest.
Well, we've already sold 18,000 tickets.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, why does there need to be 18,000 spare between it? Like, obviously 9,000 each.
Between the neutrals.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, I think we will sell all right. Yeah, I think we will sell. Forest fans think they will walk all out. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not going to go. Can you do a lineup of Pearson's back? Well, actually, we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a preview, obviously, to the final, a bit close to the time. I'm not going to do one tonight. I'm going to touch upon it slightly in a moment, but I'm not going to go into details. I'll be doing a proper preview next week, close to the time. Like, I know it's close still, but I want to do it next week, just before. Sky haters, they have 70. Yeah, like I say, I'm not really I'm not really going to go to Sky Sports, because you know what, they've wrote us off all the time. They don't give us credit, as anybody does, and yeah, I'm not surprised in the slightest that they're going like that. But we actually finished third, so you need to put some respect on our name. But they won't, of course. And actually, I've just realised we've digressed so much, Brad. Obviously, we haven't even finished off the game. Now, obviously, when we scored, obviously, I don't know about you, but I felt like every second felt like hours. Maybe that's dramatic, but how was you feeling for that final? Because I just couldn't sit still, me. I was very nervous. I mean, I think we all was, to be fair. So I think it's a silly question to ask, but yeah, it was very difficult. Obviously, when the whistle went, obviously, it was absolute scenes, and it was emotional and everything. But it was just an incredible feeling. Nobody wants to see us going up. They all, yeah, like I said, they do. I mean, it's the same with what is it? The League One playoff final on Saturday. All this about Sunderland this, Sunderland that. Well, hang on a minute. There's another team in the playoff finals on. That's Wickham, and Wickham deserves some respect as well. So it's just it's always happened over the years. To be honest with you, these so-called pundits just like to kind of just disrespect. I mean, I don't think we're a small club, but I mean, I don't even know. They just have the favourites, I suppose.
Literally, yeah.
And I think that, but yeah, obviously, before we kind of go, I want to kind of touch upon this kind of behaviour that is creeping into football far too much for my liking, Brad. It really is. And now, from my perspective, I know that obviously we saw the picture on social media from our kind of game, obviously with that old gentleman that was obviously had a bit of a bad injury. Now I believe, and now I've heard this, that initially Town fans, I don't know if you know this, Brad, but initially Town fans went over to the Luton fan, and were clapping them. Now apparently something was thrown from the Luton end towards the Town fan. It was a lighter, I believe, and that's what started all this. And then there was bottles thrown at the town. Luton were throwing bottles at Town fans, and then they were throwing them back, obviously, because why wouldn't? Well, I'm not condoning the behaviour because that makes you just as bad. But what I'm saying to you is it came from Luton. It didn't come from us, which I thought it did initially, I must admit. But what was your version of those? The fact is, there's no room for this in our game, and it has to be stamped down.
It's wrong. It's wrong both ways. But at the end of the day, the view I have on it, right, is if someone throws something at you, right, if it's to hit you, in a moment of rage, you're going to probably throw it back. I never condone it, but if someone said to me, "Oh, I lost my kind of my head and I did it back," I'd kind of be annoyed at the person, but at the same time, I'd kind of be like, it's not justified, but I can see why they did it. I can understand their version. Like especially like when kids are involved, that's another big thing for me, because I heard that a 6-year-old got glassed.
Right.
I don't know if that's true, but I got like a bottle thrown at his head. I don't know if but that's what I heard. That might have been like rumours or false, which plenty of them go around, but I did hear of it. Yeah, the thing with the old man, it's wrong. But if both fans are doing it, eventually someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not condoning any of it. I can see why some people have done it if it's become a hit a kid or something. and then he's kind of lost his rag. It's not justifiable, but it's you can see their point clearer with a kid involved than you could like just in general. Because I have seen it before where like when we had Hull at home, a bottle hit a kid's head and it cut his head open. You know, and obviously the dad's going to be furious. You know, as a parent, you're going to want your child to be safe. And if your child's hurt, I could understand if that guy went after that guy. Like, I don't know if he did or if he did. No, I personally wouldn't. But if he did, you know, it's again, I'm not saying it's justifiable, but you could understand their point of view because when kids are involved, it's kind of a different. It's not different. I don't really know because obviously I'm not a parent, but I just kind of feel sometimes when a kid gets involved in it, if you get what I mean, it's just like another level of wrong. It's the same as when an old person, a child or an old person, you know, they're on the same kind of wavelength of they shouldn't be involved in anything like that regardless. No one should be, but especially not them. That's where it's kind of, for me, where it's gone too far. Like I say, from within the stand, I went over to the barrier and clapped the Luton fans. I thought they were terrific. I thought they were brilliant. They're more respectful than what can be said for their coach. And that's a sign of who are the bigger people in their fan base and not their coach.
Yeah.
Which can't be said for other fan bases, but it's always some, not all. But yeah, I don't condone any of it, but I see it's hard. It's hard to kind of think. It's like, what is it? Jason Cundy was saying on TalkSport. In fact, he shouldn't be talking about anything really. He's got no clue about anything. But saying pitch invasions are dangerous. No, they're not. Pitch invasions are not dangerous. People entering the pitch doesn't hurt anyone. Idiots ruining it for others hurts people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you know what the most upsetting thing about this is it really is ruining it for everybody here because
literally
massive night for us on Monday night, and that's just been kind of, not taken away from us, but it's been slightly, you know, thinking because of what's happened after the game. You know, it's not. And the thing is though about the pitch invasion things, that it'll get to a point where, you know, people, you know, stadiums or whatever.
You can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy that time with the player.
Yeah,
and it's like, I've never had anything against pitch invasions on the last game of the season. I think it's a moment where you're just blowing off steam, essentially.
No, yeah, I agree.
And just celebrating and enjoying yourself in the moment. It's an exhilarating kind of thing where you just see everyone jump over the barriers. And right, there's been an incident in both games now, you know.
Yeah. I'm going to go on to that as well. Yeah, I was going to go on to that because obviously, you know, the pitch invasions, right, are great. I don't, by the way, I think they're great. I think that if you get to Wembley or whatever, or if you had a fantastic season, you know what, you've got, if you want to go on that pitch, you know, you should be able to. But it'll get to a point where you just won't be allowed to because
literally, and it's so annoying because like, obviously that happened with a Luton fan. If Luton fans have instigated it, which they could well have done because they were mad, like at losing, then it doesn't make it any better or worse. It's just a version of events, obviously. Yeah. But for me, I'm not going to say that was mild because it wasn't mild. You know, a coin hitting someone in the head's dangerous, but I think there comes a different level of violence. You know, throwing an object, I can't justify it. You see, the way I see it, if someone throws something at someone, you might just look to hit them, not cut their head open, especially not an old guy. I really can't imagine a person being that wrong and that just, there are those people out there, but that insensitive that they're going to go and find an old person and throw a coin at him.
No, I understand.
I feel like, you know, maybe someone started it and they tried to hit someone else, and that's not any better. But at least the old guy don't get hurt, and he probably didn't do anything. You know, that's what I mean. If you know, it's such a grey area. That's what I find with it, because it's between what's right and wrong, and it's between a lot of, you know, if he's tried to hit someone else with whatever, it's not right or wrong. But I'd rather I'd rather the people that are bringing it on themselves come out worse than a total innocent person who's had no bearing on any of it.
Yeah, I understand that, but when you're in a football ground and when stuff's like that happening, it can hit anybody. So
that's what I mean. So obviously people get caught in the crosshair.
Yeah.
The Luton fan is one thing, but I think what happened with Billy Sharp, that's just worse in so many.
The more
no, it's like you can't. It's hard to compare them. It's not a competition here.
No.
But what he has done, like, it's not exaggerating. If Billy Sharp had landed in a funny way, or just the contact in general, he has rocketed his head off with a headbutt. Like, that could have done anything.
Of course.
So that's like, I don't think he's tried to kill him, but that's like, he could have.
Yeah, but the thing is I understand what you're saying about this one, because then obviously last night, again, an incident that was just, obviously Sky showed it back. The more you watch it, the more kind of disgusted I get, really, because, I mean, Billy Sharp, we just stood there innocently, not doing anything. You just can't do that. And this is what I was going back to. These kind of pitching ranges will not be able to happen going forward. And I think that this is getting out of control in terms of, fans' behaviour. And I don't want to go on about this too much, by the way. We're going to wrap this up in a second. But behaviour is getting worse, and we're getting more.
It is. And the thing that does me right is there are Forest fans that say stuff that I find delusional, yeah, but they're still respectful people. Some of them are still respectful people. They can have an opinion on something, right?
Yeah. You've crashed, Brad. You've crashed on the left.
There we go.
You're back. Oh, I thought I'd lost you there.
I'm sure the majority of them still lead perfectly normal, respectful lives.
Yeah.
Where they work hard and this and that. There's only one person that's ruined that, and it's that Forest fan. Yeah. And I might say this about Forest fans, but I have got a lot of respect for normal people that just go about their day and enjoy themselves without hurting others. And he has tarnished that fan base now with one fan's actions.
Yeah, it is.
Same applies for when that Leicester fan did it at Forest. Same applies when what happened with us and the old fella or the kid. Hull fans aren't all wrong. They were just a group of about 30 lads in corner giving it big and with the Stone Island jackets on. Yeah. So
absolutely, I think that, but there has to be more. I think that you can condone this behavior. I mean, obviously we haven't got the power, but I think that from kind of higher up you go, I think that you can condone that behaviour, but more has to be done about this now. I'm sorry, but they does. I mean, I'm sorry, but it just feels like that's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it there because I mean
he's been arrested, so.
Oh, has he? Right. But what I'm saying to you is we can condone this behaviour, but it's still happening. So what is happening? What is happening to actually put things in place that stop this from happening? You know what I mean? Nothing's been done about it.
I think what has to happen is the guy has to be punished, and he has to be punished.
I'm not on about just that isolated incident that I'm on about in terms in general. This kind of fan behaviour. We've seen instances throughout the season, obviously.
So I mean, make an example of this one because this one was shown on national television, publicly to the world. Everyone saw it. If you say to someone now, "Did you watch the Forest game?" I reckon 9 out of 10 of them will say, "Oh, did you hear what happened to Billy Sharp?" Straight after.
Yeah.
It's out there. If it's made public to people that he's been arrested and be given 3 or 4 years in jail, which is kind of like what people are expecting him to get. Yeah. If it's shown publicly, as it should, it's assault.
Yeah.
And it's not just any assault. It's not like he's slapped him or he's pushed him. He's full on rocketed headbutted him. Like,
yeah.
It's just not on at all. Again, I find it such a grey area. If someone had started hitting him and he'd have done it back, he don't make it right or wrong, but it's provoked. If you're provoked, it's hard for some people to bite their lip and just think, but Billy has done nothing. And he's an ex-Forest player. That makes it even worse. Billy has nothing but positive things to say about Nottingham Forest. it don't make a difference. You know, it don't make a difference. But even so, you know, it's like Billy said. He's come out and said, thanks to all the Forest, all the good words from Forest, I've never had anything bad to say about the club.
Yeah.
It makes no sense why random fans just run on and rocket Billy Sharp of all people for no reason.
Just mindless idiots. That's all it is, and that's all it is about. But I mean, is Billy Sharp okay then?
Yeah, a couple of stitches, and he should be right as rain. So
that's good news then. And like I say, let's hope the punishment is rightly served for sure. Because it's just no room for that in our game, and you know something has to give you. But anyway, just finally, I don't want to go too much into the final because we are still kind of early on. But yeah. Obviously, we know that we're playing Forest in the final now. What are your early thoughts on this one? But what are you kind of thinking? I mean, once we kind of found out who was playing, obviously last night, you kind of turn your attentions to the final a bit. Not too much because it's still kind of early. Obviously, next week you'll start to think about it a bit more than you have this week. But what are your early thoughts going into this one? And kind of, I just kind of keen to know what you're thinking right now about this game.
Play the best team. Probably say play 5 back.
Yeah.
I would do that for this game.
Really? I wouldn't. Because I don't think you could I don't think you should change your principles for a team because that gives them too much respect.
We played the 5 back the past 2 games though.
I mean, I know, but it was more a free, wasn't it? But obviously, 2 tucked in if we need it. But I get what you're saying.
What I mean. Play the 3 at the back. With Pippa and Toffolo as wing backs.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
I need Hogg in that team.
Yeah,
I need Hogg in that team, and that's not a debate. But I also need 2 centre halves at the same time. Yeah. The happy medium is to have Hogg in that CC kind of DM where he drifts in and out of the midfield. So midfield, when we're attacking, he can go in the midfield or drop in, and the wide players can push up. Either or, but I need.
Your internet has gone again. Hopefully we get you back in a moment. But I think you've got McDonald's Wi-Fi, Brad. I think that's what it is. Oh, you're back. I think you've got McDonald's Wi-Fi. But I think you're frozen again. What's the way I'm on? But I kind of think just want to ask you something. Oh yeah,
there we go.
You're back. So from my understanding is don't you like Hoggy in that centre back role that he's maybe played sometimes? You know what I mean, because he does do it effectively, doesn't he, as well?
It's not even that role. It's just that he's involved.
Yeah.
If he's on the pitch, I feel so much more secure about someone taking one for the team and about someone doing what's necessary.
Yeah, good point.
And Hogg will always be the guy to do that. I think get your key players in, get your right formation. Well, no, in fact, no. Pick the system you're going to use and use the best suited players for that system.
Yeah.
In other words, don't go for a 5 back or a 3 back and put Turton in because I just don't think he suits that role. I think that's Pippa's kind of area. And gamble. If we've got Ward, right? If he's not fully fit, make a decision on whether to start him or whether to play Rhodes. But another thing, leave 2 men at the back to their 1. If they've got 2, leave 3. If they've got 4, leave 5, essentially. And then the rest of the team can go up and gamble. Let them run the length of the pitch. They'll get tired doing it eventually.
Yeah. It's like I said, I think that I think it's going to be a cagey affair this one. And they always are finals, aren't they? But I think that it's just the one that holds the nerve the most, obviously. And obviously we've shown we can. But I mean, from my perspective, I think that it's going to be tough, and I do agree with what you're saying. By the way, I think that kind of that formation, but I kind of thinking to myself, I mean, I know that we haven't played the, like the Ward Rhodes partnership, but I mean, I don't know how it'll work as well with obviously the formation, but I mean, it could possibly work, but I mean, I suppose you can't really. I don't want to change what's worked. I mean, I'm just kind of pointing out that it may be something that could happen, maybe at some point. But anyway, I suppose, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. But like I said, we'll be doing a bigger preview on this. But I just wanted to kind of get your early thoughts, really, on kind of what you was feeling or what you was thinking going into this game as such, really. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of those that I don't buy this, I wish it would have been Sheffield United, because no, at the end of the day, right, we have to beat whoever. That's giving us a disservice here, because at the end of the day, we finished third. We've beaten both sides this season. So I'm not sure why Forest are this fearful team, because I mean, I get that they're in the such amazing form, but what have we done all season? What have we? What have we? Do you know what I mean? So it's just very frustrating that fans seem to think, oh, it's Forest. Forest seem to be this unbeatable team to some people. And it's like, well, no, they're not. We have our qualities. We have a team that can beat this Forest team, and you know what I mean. So it just annoys me, that kind of view. Well, anyway. That's kind of it. So yeah, that's it. We're done. Like I say, we can look forward to a trip to Wembley, where our dreams hopefully will come true for sure. Because it's always a special trip to Wembley, always a special day. Being in the final is always special, but we just want to get over that line now. I mean, we really do. Because losing I know that obviously we've had good luck over the years in finals, really, at Wembley, but I can imagine it's absolutely horrible to lose in a final. I remember when we lost against Peterborough at Old Trafford that time.
Yeah.
Not Wembley, and that was absolutely heartbreaking. So, but yeah, let's hope we can just give it our best, perform to our best, and give a performance. But like I say, we'll be doing a preview on this next week. As I say, we build up. I mean, I suppose on Monday you start really building up to the final, and you think, "Below me, this is close." So yeah, I'm really can't. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining. I've really enjoyed this. I really have. It's been great. Like I say, we always seem to go longer than I think. But like I say, Brad, I love having you on, and I love speaking to you. So it's great to have you on the show. I really appreciate you coming on and your time, this evening. So yeah,
no worries at all.
I've put your kind of things in the description. So please go and check out Brad's channel. He provides us with some great content. He always brings a smile to my face watching his content. His vlogs are great. And I'm not just saying it because you hear Brad, but I mean it. You're producing some really good stuff. And I really enjoy watching your content, like I say. And like I say, on Twitter as well. Be sure to follow him on Twitter as well to keep up to date with everything you need to know about his channel as well. But yeah, thanks as ever, Brad, for coming on. And yeah, all the best and take care. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. No worries.
Right, cheers. So yeah, this has been another episode. So yeah, I shall see you all on the next one. I'm not sure which one I'll be doing next. It may be just some. In fact, because it's the final weekend of the Premier League, I'll probably do some Premier League predictions. I think I'll probably do that on Friday. I don't think I'll be doing anything tomorrow, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll be back on Friday in the evening. It'll be definitely evening, 6, 7 o'clock. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, please, if you did enjoy this video, please smash the like button and please subscribe. I'm nearly at 50 subscribers. This would mean a lot to me, and I know it may seem small, but I've really, literally recently launched this channel, and yeah, it would mean a lot to have that support from everybody. So yeah. That's it from me. That's it from me rambling. Have a good rest of the week, and I shall see you on Friday. Take care. I hope there will be flares. Yeah, to be honest with you, I really don't know how fans get flares in the stadium because it's supposed to be checked. But anyway, I'm not going to go back. But yeah, I shall see you all on the next one. Take care and yeah, goodbye. Thank you.